Hi, it's Pam from Ben McFuzzylugs. Thank you for joining me. Today we just wanted to discuss promoted listings on Etsy. Are they worth it? Now, before we start talking about Etsy, I just want to mention in my lifetime, in other careers, I have actually spent a large amount of money on advertising. I've spent money on advertising in papers, online, and on our yellow pages and everything. And one thing that I learned quite quickly is when you pay for an advert, you are not paying for a set number of sales. You're not buying sales. You're simply paying for what they tell you you're getting. So if it's an advert in a newspaper, you're paying for your advert to be seen on that page by however many people is in circulation with the advert. You tend to pay quite a lot of money up front and there's no guarantees at all. Could well be that you're not going to make a penny out of it. And I will say, of all the advertising I've paid for, it's very rare that I even make money or break even. Usually it's been quite a bit of a loss on advertising and they're very expensive. So I decided after a lot of humming and hawing, I would have a go at promoted listings on Etsy as an experiment in about 2014. And I've actually kept that running ever since because I have found it of benefit and not just in the ways you expect. So let's have a wee look at this. So to get to your promoted listings, you pop into your shop, go down to promote, and then up to your advertising dashboard. And you get a wee screen like this. Now I've got it set for all time so we can see what's happening here. I find it really important not to just focus on a day or a week or something, look at the big picture. Now in general, your promoted listings is not going to be making you millions of sales. It helps, but you've got to do other things as well. But if we have a look at the stats for all time for my shop, we can see that it's only cost me just over $200 and it's almost made me $2,000. So that's quite a good return for my investment. And I found this kind of proportion of the cost only being about 10% of the revenue. I found this fairly steady over the years, which is pretty handy. This gives us an idea. Now, impressions are just the number of times that your item shows up in an advert. So what I'll do, we'll just pop over here and give you a look. Now, if I was to search in the search bar up here for needle felted dog, because that's what I make, when we search, the 4 items at the top, these are all adverts. You can see the wee ad in the corner. So what happens is now I've searched for this, these 4 people are going to get an extra 1 number onto their impressions. This is an impression. I've just been seen. And all the other items down here are not advertised. So they're here because of their good search engine optimization. And I'm lucky that I already have one on the front page. But if you imagine that you're in a really massive search category, say you make wedding rings. Now, wedding ring is going to be a massive search. No matter how fantastic you are, it's going to be a bit of luck if you can get onto the front page. So if you did a promoted listing ad as well, then this is just going to boost your chances getting onto the front page. And then you see if people like you, if they can find you. It gives you a good idea if it's really worth all the effort. So that's what an impression is there. And then clicks are just people who've seen your ad on that page. If they click on it, that's what that is. So if we scroll down here, this page just gives us a little overview of some of the sales from the adverts. So this is actually a little bit interesting in that Etsy counts if somebody sees your advert and clicks on it and then goes somewhere else in your shop and buys something different, they still count that as a sale from your ad, which makes sense. The advert brought them to the shop, but then they go and they search about in your shop and find something else they like. So the interesting thing here, you can see that people have clicked on my bookmark and went and bought a slightly different bookmark. It's almost identical, but obviously they've had a wee look around my shop and ended up buying that one. Someone clicked on my wee dog here and they've went and bought a different wee dog. And here, this is even better. Someone clicked on a wee dog and went and bought a more expensive dog. Fantastic, that's what we want, trade up on things. And the same, someone clicked on a bookmark and went and bought a more expensive bookmark. Fantastic. So this is all good information for us. So the important button here, the important page is to hit onto the manage so we can manage what we've got. And if you've just set up promoted listings, the very first thing I'm going to say for you to do is click advanced listings here. The reason for this is your cost per click. Now I'll just explain what Etsy does. You've got your daily budget and then your cost per click. So if you don't have this set, then Etsy will just keep on increasing your bid. What happens is at the very start of the day, Etsy looks at, say, your wedding ring listing, and it looks at all of the people who are looking to advertise something with a tag of a wedding ring, and it will bid up for each of them because the one with the highest bid is going to be more likely to get shown as the advert, because obviously Etsy wants to make some money. So if you don't have a maximum cost per click, Etsy's going to bid you up until your limit. So it might get to the point that it bids you up that you are paying $2 per click for your advert. So it means you get shown, but as soon as the first person clicks on your advert, that's your budget finished. So that might have happened within the first 10 minutes of the day. Your budget's finished and you have only got one click to show out of it. So your chances of a sale are pretty low. So what we do, drop that cost per click down to quite a good low level. And that means the first thing in the day, everyone who hasn't got this set, Etsy bids them right up. They blow through their budget in like half an hour, and suddenly you're going to get seen. And because I'm only on 4 cents per click, that means I can get loads of clicks. I'm going to be seen for a long period of time before I run out of money. So I've got a much better chance of making some sales. Your actual daily budget, that varies depending on how you use this feature, how much you actually spend. If you set it, I think it starts at $5, I can't remember. So if you set your daily budget to $5 and you were constantly using up that daily budget, then they might give you the option to spend a bit more. But the daily budget is good because you know that it means you're not going to spend more than you can afford. Right, so we have these features here, which is really nice. You're seeing all of your items and a bit of information about them. So if you click on the title on the top, then Etsy sorts them in descending order. So we can see my item that's had the most impressions is this bookmarks tutorial. We want to look who's had the most clicks. Again, the bookmark tutorials had the most clicks. So this is handy to know. It means if he gets seen a lot, he still gets a lot of clicks. Your average cost per click, this is just meaning, although mine is set at the 4 cents, it doesn't always have to bid all the way up to the 4 cents if it's not particularly competitive. You know, if there's not a whole lot of people vying for the same slots, or if they've already burned through their budget, then my bid's going to come through much cheaper. Okay, so we can also look at the cost, what item has actually cost us the most in people clicking and everything. And it's this wee dog ornament, my Chinese crested, which has been second most of the time, has still cost me the second most, and the bookmarks cost me the third the third most. And then for many people, the most important is your revenue. So which item has made me the most money? And it's this black cat ornament. And we can look and just sort of do a roughly looking and saying, well, hold on, he got almost half the impressions of that dog, less clicks, but he's making almost the same amount of money. So that means that actually he's more likely to sell when he's seen. He's more likely to sell when he's clicked on, so people are really liking him. So you get an idea of some kind of stats there for yourself that can help you out and say, okay, well, if this item gets seen, he's more likely or less likely. Like this guy has not been seen all that much. He's not really been clicked on all that much, but when people click on him, they're way more likely to buy him. So it would maybe be a good idea to work on pushing these items a wee bit, and then we're more likely to get a sale from them. Now, there's also some more interesting features here. If we look under each item, it tells you the number of searched terms that have been used to actually bring up an impression. So let's click on my cat. The search terms are basically keywords, tags that we'll use. So this analytics is really useful if you're wanting to focus in on what different tags and titles you could be using. So if we look here for my cat, the top impressions for him was in a black cat ornament, because I have black cat ornament in my title, I have it in my tag, so I'm very well optimized for that. And if we look, when it's seen, it's got a very high click rate. And it kind of makes sense. If someone's searching for a black cat ornament, that is exactly what that is. So they're more likely to think, okay, well, that is a black cat, and click on it. If I'd listed him with tags of something like pink cat, and someone's searching for a pink cat for some reason, and they saw him, they'd be less likely to click on him, because it's really not good title and tags. It's misleading. We look down some of the others. You can see it says when they're a high click rate, and sometimes when it doesn't. So, for example, for cat ornament, I'm not getting a high click rate. So I don't really have to push for cat ornament as a title and a tag. It's going to be a bit more of a waste of time for me. Other ones that are high click rate, for instance, felt cat ornament. Now Etsy's taken it on itself to push that, even though I'm not very optimized for that. I just have cat ornament, not felt cat ornament. So it's actually not optimized for it, but I've got a high click rate. So it might be an idea for me to use felt cat ornament in my title and my tags. Again, black cat figurine. We're getting a high click rate. It's not had many impressions. It's not been seen very often, but when it does get seen, it's clicked on. So I'll maybe look into black cat figurine. I don't actually have that as a tag or optimized in my title. So that gives me some ideas of things to work for. So you can see for a fairly little outlay, you can get some pretty good sales, but you can also get some good data for you to use. If you're looking at an item that's getting loads of impressions but no clicks, then maybe you want to look and say, oh, well, my tags for that are not great. It's people who are searching for that keyword aren't looking for something like my item. Or maybe if you actually search yourself and you have a look, be brutally honest, maybe your item doesn't stand up really well against the crowd that's already there. Maybe it would be better off in a different search. If an item's getting clicked on an awful lot but not selling, now this is maybe a time when you could have a look at your price. Is this because of my price, or are my pictures misleading? Am I missing vital information like the size of the item or something? So it gives you some ideas to go on. So are promoted listings worth it? I actually think so. They won't be for everyone, but give it a go. You never know. Right, thank you very much for listening, and I will be back next Monday with some more Etsy tips. Thank you very much.